I feel like she's staring into my soul. Do you see this? Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey, and we're about to get very, very nerdy with another book review. So, considering today is Valentine's Day, I thought we would do a fun little silly romance novel, and that is The Espressologist by Christina Springer. I'm gonna try really hard not to get the Windows glare with this lovely library book cover plastic thing, but it's gonna happen and I'm sorry. So, like all my book reviews, I'm going to be focusing on 5 things, which is plot, character, location and world, writing style, and just overall feeling. So I just finished this one, and I thought it was a cute little romancy kind of book, so I thought I would do this one today. The Espressologist is about a girl named Jane who works as a barista, and in her spare time she has a notebook that she keeps and she writes down specific drink orders and kind of the characteristics of the person who orders them. She basically can tell about a person based on their drink. So after months of this, she uses these coffee orders to kind of pair up people and make them together. And so she does this a few times, and then her boss finds out what she's doing and uses it as a December promotion. Every Friday in the month of December, she kind of sets up a little table and becomes the Espressologist. And people can come up to her, give them her order, their number, a fun fact about them, things like that, and she can pair them up with someone who comes in later or someone that she just knows. And so it gets kind of big, and she pairs up her best friend with this guy that's in her class, and she's not really sure why she's unhappy that the two of them are together. She gets really popular, which gets a TV crew involved and gets, you know, her feelings from her best friend and feelings from her and all of this mixed emotion. So this book I got from my library, and it came with the blind date book. So they had a bunch of books wrapped up. I think I have it here somewhere. I do. This just shows you how much of a hoarder I am. I have the paper that it came in. So they wrapped up all of these books on a table in this brown paper and had this little kind of summary of what it's about. And so on the front for this, it just says young adult, breezy and fun vibe, barista, breezy romance, and matchmaking. So I knew going into it, this wasn't going to be the most serious read of my entire life. I kind of was hoping it was going to be a fun little, you know, in between hard stories kinds of read, and that's what it was. As far as the plot goes, it's very cut and dry. I thought it was really entertaining that she used coffee because A, coffee's amazing, but I've never really heard of coffee matchmaking before. That's not a plot that I'm familiar with, but it sounded really intriguing once I unveiled it and looked at what it was about, and I was actually kind of excited to get started. It did keep me hooked because I'm a sucker for any kind of love story, even if it's a silly one, so I definitely was hooked. It's really short. I think it's under 200 pages. It's 184 to be exact, so not a long read, definitely one that you could do in one sit. There's not a whole lot I can say about the plot. There is no big complex themes in it, but it was enjoyable. There's not a whole lot of characters, but I will go over a couple that I feel are important. Jane, our main character, it was very confusing to me, and I don't know if it's because of her or if it's because of the writing style, because I felt like she was 3 different people in one body. Like at some points she was like, I cannot wait to be a fashion designer. I would love to go to school for fashion design. But she like mentioned fashion like only a couple times. And I feel like if you really wanted to be in like the fashion world, you would talk about it more, but maybe I'm wrong. And then at sometimes she was like, I care so much about school, I have to go and be important. And then the next moment she'd be like, meh, I haven't gone to school in 2 weeks. I don't know about you, but if I didn't go to school in 2 weeks, I felt like I would not graduate. She's a senior in high school and she doesn't go to school for 2 weeks. And she lives with her parents, so I don't understand how A, they didn't find out, and B, how she would still graduate if she didn't go to school for 2 weeks straight. Like, that logic doesn't make sense in my head. But there was not a whole lot of complexity to her. I wouldn't say that she was one-sided, because she definitely had a few different sides, but there wasn't anything, you know, extraordinary about it. Her best friend, on the other hand, I feel like had a side and a side only. There wasn't really a whole lot there. I felt like she was just kind of there to be A, the best friend that happens to work with you, but also be the problem between Jane and this boy. I felt like that's the only reason that she was there. Same thing with Cam, the boy. He was in Jane's class, but his only purpose really was to be the love interest for Jane. So not really a whole lot of complexity with the characters there, but they weren't terrible. The location and world is not really something I can talk about much with this book because it was set in our world. It was set in a city, though I'm pretty sure it doesn't say which one. I kind of envisioned it as New York City this whole time. There wasn't really anything that she had to make up out of her imagination. So the next part, when I talk about the writing style, there's going to be spoilers, so I'm going to put spoiler warning at the bottom of the screen, and if you see that and you haven't read this book and you want to not be spoiled, then just go ahead and mute me, and then when that goes away, you can come on back. The writing style was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't like the next literary novel. The one thing that got me the most with this was the ending. Everything wrapped up in one chapter, and I just checked, and the last chapter was 8.5 pages long. It's like she had 3 different endings. It was like somehow because she was caught kissing Cam while Cam was supposed to be with best friend got angry, as, you know, a best friend should, but only for like a hot second. And then they're like, I can't be mad at you because you're my best friend. I don't know about you, but if I was caught kissing my best friend's boyfriend, she would be pissed at me. And I don't think she would get over it in like 3 days. And like the stigma of, yes, I am the best friend and now we have to be okay because we are best friends. Like, no, you can be mad at your best friend. That's how relationships work. You are good, and the next moment you have anger, and then after a while you are good again. But there's still like some working out to do between the two of you to go back to good place. It just doesn't automatically happen because you're best friends. Like, that doesn't work in my brain. The second thing with the ending of this is all of a sudden the mean girl is now nice because she set her up with some guy. No, that also doesn't work. All of a sudden the mean girl can't just be like, I am no longer going to be evil, I will be nice to you. That's also not how that works. So, no, just no. And then the whole getting with boy part happened, and I'm not even kidding you, the very last paragraph. And she's like, and everything is good and great. But there were 3 kind of storyline endings that all happened at once, and it just felt too well patched up. And then, of course, for my overall feelings, I did not hate this book. I did actually enjoy this book. Like I said, I'm a sucker for any kind of love story. I get involved and I want them to be together, and I was very happy when they were together. But like I said, it wasn't great. I'm glad I read it, but I probably won't reread it. I think I gave this one 4 stars, which is probably pretty generous. I'm generously generous with my stars. That's a tongue twister. So yeah, overall feelings was a good, silly kind of story to have between 2 harder novels if you want kind of a break and just like an afternoon read where you don't really have to think very hard. This is definitely a good book for that. It was a good in-between book. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you liked my review of this silly little book that I've got here. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. You've made it this far. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And if you are not celebrating Valentine's Day, then just have a great Wednesday. And I hope to see you guys in a few days. Bye.